The Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Car Show has made the trip over to Meremere in New Zealand. Hello Auckland, the fans are here and they are excited.
It's awesome an awesome opportunity for the kids in New Zealand to be able to get amongst it. Not many of them will be able to get over to Australia to go and give it a shot, so it's good to see them on our home turf.
One of the really special things about this series, a chance to meet the drivers at the pit party before they hit the track, and we have some awesome matchups ready to go, plus the wheel stand-ups.
There's nothing like this in New Zealand, so to be able to come put on a show and to ship all this stuff, you know, we've got 8 cars plus the wheel stand. There's so much logistics to it. I got my old mate, the Dark Horse, so Paul Massinio. He loves to talk it up, so we'll just let him do that and worry about going down the racetrack.
One bad Kiwi. We're going to try and turn him into one sad Kiwi if we can, but it's going to be tough. Morris is fast. He's got a lot of experience, so we'll throw everything at it and give it a go. See if we can upset him.
Honestly, the fans here are amazing. I've actually had a few people come up and stop me just walking through the pits, which is so exciting that they're so excited just as much as we are.
It's so good to be over here at Meremere Dragway, New Zealand. Sun's out, cars are ready to go. First round, let's do it. First round, I've got Anthony Begley in the LA Hooker. Honestly, plan of attack today is just to get from A to B. We haven't run on this track before. Yeah, we've got some data to work off, but honestly, just get a consistent pass down, all 3 today would be wonderful.
There are a lot of people who have waited a long time to see this. Finally, we get Nitro shows here in New Zealand. Wade Ornger joining me in commentary for this one as we get ready to bring the show to Auckland.
It is so good to get loud in the land of the long white cloud, Chad, as LA Hooker arrives for duty. And what a moment for Anthony Begley to at some point compete with his daughter overseas.
Yeah, that's a really special story. They have had history before racing against each other.
What is up with that?
I love it. And today he's going to go up against this guy, Josh Lay's hot property in this championship in the Bandit.
Just a sweet-looking hot rod, and we say that about everybody that rolls out. Cool part about this deal, amongst many other things, that's actually his fiancée backing him up, Kelsey Walford. And I guess many Australian men are used to being told to back up by their ladies. In this case, she does a whole lot more.
Kind of like backseat driving in a way. We've all been there.
Although they're not setting the idle before the pass, and that's something that Kelsey does. We're going to talk about her a bit later on. Beggs, one of the legends of WA drag racing, as we check an onboard view of what the Bandit will do alongside Hooker.
New Zealand, are you ready? This is what Nitro sounds like and feels like.
Good drag race! What a way to kick things off. The Bandit! Only 2 1/1000ths of a second in it, a 4:06 km/h run. That's a beauty.
You couldn't have picked a better first race to introduce this series to New Zealand. Whole shot win, 2,000 separating them on the timing screens, and that is an almighty drag race. What a start.
Gives you a great idea too of how Lane went right down the middle. There's the high five, and as you said, that has lit this audience up.
That's a rarity, the whole shot win when you win it with the better reaction time and the slower elapsed time. Good stuff. And now we roll on to one of the heavy hitters in this series. Oh, and speaking of heavy hits, the Terminator gets terminated in the burnout.
Oh, that doesn't sound good, Chad, at all. And they shut it down really quickly. Something not right at all in that burnout.
Let's have a listen. Yeah, that was really ugly. The burst panel jumped out of the front of the body, which relieves some of that pressure inside. You'll just see it here pop out at the front. It's designed to relieve the pressure and hopefully save the rest of that body and the panels around it, but that car will be going nowhere.
I don't think the Terminator can say, I'll be back on this occasion. That looks terminal. The boys roll it back, and that gives Rick Gorsey a solo pass in the car that they either lovingly or fearfully regard as the Chev.
Yep, 57 Chev. This man at the wheel. Cut his teeth racing alcohol funny cars, now makes this change over to Nitro in the last 5 to 6 years. He has been the man.
Now, I don't want to make any comments above or beyond the table here, but his first car was a Tirana. Can I just say, of course it was. Rick Gorsey, there is the man himself, GC, Graham Cowan. He just lives for moments like this. What can Gorsey do?
A little bit of a hop and a step across that 100-foot marker. It's actually where the track transitions across to the asphalt, and that is a beautiful number of 567, way over 400 clicks. That is Nitro Racing New Zealand.
Yeah, and you know, they still got a buzz out of that. They only saw the one hot rod go down the lane, but he did it in great style. The winningest driver in Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Car history. He and Messinio is the next best in that sort of situation, but 21 podiums, including 16 wins so far. He'll be good one day.
3 points to Rick Gorsey. And what a good start that is for Nitro Express. It's been a fast start here at Meremere in New Zealand. Auckland is smelling the nitro. And the good news, there's plenty more to come. Stick around. We've got first round action that looks and sounds like this after the break. Big crowd in New Zealand loving their nitro action. We tried to run in New Zealand on a few occasions, but rain was the problem. Finally, we are able to fire up these amazing nitro beasts, and they're all here to cheer on this guy.
An outstanding crowd, Chad, when you consider that we rained out yesterday and coming back on this Sunday. And this guy, Paul Messinio, the dark horse. There's a lot to love about this man. He looks like he should be riding Harleys and carrying violin cases. Pretty scary looking dude. I know he rides Harleys. I don't think he's ever touched a violin, but what a fat dude he is.
In a PH sort of way. This car and the fans flocking to this man pre-event at the pit party. He virtually had to be broken away from the crowd to go and start the car up and throw the race suit on. They absolutely adore Maurice McMillan and One Bad Kiwi.
Well, he's appealed for every round to be held in New Zealand for next year. I'm not sure he's going to get away with that. That is the wheelie bar. That has such a critical role to play in how these cars leave the line. We'll talk about that later on. It's the dark horse against one sad Kiwi, as Messinio alluded to earlier. Can he make McMillan pay in front of his home fans?
Tight of the line, but there goes the dark horse. And One Bad Kiwi strolls on through for 3 home points at a 575.
Yeah, still a pretty stout 403, almost 404 kilometres an hour. There was nothing in it at the lights. I thought we had a good race going.
Yeah, only 0.02 of a second separating them at the tree, but instant tyre smoke from Messinio. And that left lane working nicely, 3 from 3 down there at the moment. Good pass for One Bad Kiwi. Had a pretty good 2019 year. 3 podiums, including the most recent round at Willowbank. Look at the way the roof light bounces around from half track onwards. And then trying to get these cars stopped in that deep end, always a bit of fun.
These fans are loving this. We've already seen one great drag race to start things off. We've seen Gorsey absolutely on a mission, running well over 400. Now with their hometown hero doing the same. And now the debut of Emma Begley for her second season in Let's Boogie, up against another Kiwi. Now, what's cool about Carl, apart from that, is the gear he's wearing. We're going to look at that in a minute as Emma grooves it up for us.
I love it. Nitro flashback, and it is a flashback when you have a look inside that car. But that was an all-time burnout. That thing cranked sideways. I think he's a little bit excited about getting to run on his home soil, albeit the North Island, because he's from all the way down in Invercargill.
At the home of Bert Munro, as we take a look at the beautiful eyes of Emma Begley. Not exactly your stereotypical Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Car driver. This thing inside, when you cop a look at his racing gear, it is American graffiti. Absolutely just sets you alight.
Cool shot that is, tracking back with Let's Boogie, which has now become Emma's noble steed in this championship. But yeah, for Carl Boniface, who's come all the way up from Invercargill to be here this weekend, he hasn't had the chance really to race many people over here in New Zealand. He's out to a pretty strong start.
Oh, goodbye. Oh, Emma pulled the chutes a little early.
Early shoots and gets her pocket pit. That is a huge win on home soil for Nitro flashback. What happened there?
She had him nailed to the wall, Chad. It was not a great reaction time by Nitro Funny car standards, but she ripped it home and then unfortunately grabbed the chutes too early. Let's look at onboard, see what happens here. She had him on toast.
Man, and it was just, I think the fact that car walked a little bit too close to the wall for her liking, decided to play it safely. And that was the distance at the finish line. What a cool shot that is. Chute's still very much in the packaging for Carl Boniface at that point.
Can I just say I don't blame her? I mean, you're dealing with so much in a very short space of time, and here's another guy that's still learning the trade, Brandon Gosbell. He is going to be an exciting prospect in this series. He's used to going very, very fast on a quarter mile, Chad, just not with four wheels.
Yeah, I've got nothing but respect for anyone who rides those no wheelie bar Hayabusas, turbo bikes. They do low 7 seconds, some of them even into the 6s. They are insane. So fear, not going to be a problem.
Absolutely. It's just getting your head around, making these things leave the line. Cool shot here at Meremere.
Oh, that got a little bit sideways at about 100 foot out. It was just on that transition point where it goes asphalt, from the concrete over to the asphalt. Lucky that there was no one in the other lane to get the points off him.
He had another stab at it, but by then it was too late. And you've got nothing to prove when you've got a solo pass like this.
There it is. Just unloads the rear tyres. Part of the trick of trying to get down, and you might think, hey, it's just 402 straight metres of tarmac. It's never that simple.
I wish you could have seen Chad explaining that. He actually got behind the wheel when you explained that then.
Get the little hop. You'll see the car bounce right there. And then straight into that vicious tyre shake. Wow. You feel that in the car. So after that first round of racing, 3 points for 5 drivers moving through on that maximum score for now. The drivers at the end of the event will race off for the top positions in the final round.
Well, I'm born and bred New Zealand, down the bottom, South Island, sort of across from Queenstown. And I've been drag racing pretty much since I was in the early 20s. But we always dreamed that one day we'd get an opportunity to have a shot at them, and that's today, and I can't believe it, I've pulled off a win somehow. I mean, we do get big crowds here sometimes, but this is something else. The number of kids that are here is fantastic, because obviously they're the future of the sport. They're going to come back and they'll bring their mates.
The engine, it's a pump, so air goes in, air goes out. So somewhere in there, and we think it's a valve, has let go, so the head off a valve has let go, which then creates pressure back up into the inlet manifold, which with nitro, which is an explosive, doesn't just go bang, it's an earth-shattering kaboom. Unfortunately, I got it go about 20 feet and I'm over and out.
Yeah, look, obviously it didn't go to plan. It shook pretty hard and gave me a pretty good headache, but we'll go out there, try and fix it and get a bit further next time. I'm still learning every pass and it's doing something new every pass. So each time out, we'll keep trying to improve and hopefully by the end of the night, we're going pretty quick.
I'm Josh Lay, driver of the Bandit. I'm standing here today on the start line at Meremere Dragway, where these cars will take off to make a 400km/h pass. One of the commonly overlooked parts of the car that helps it really get off the start line and make a nice clean pass is a wheelie bar. What the wheelie bar is most commonly known for is to keep the front wheels down on the ground at the track and ensure that the car doesn't flip over, which is true. What it also does is keep some of the weight off these rear wheels and onto this smaller wheel. In effect, when it launches off the start line, it ensures the correct amount of wheel speed so the car doesn't go into immediate tyre shake or spin the wheels dramatically off the starting line. It's a fun fact, these little aluminium wheels will take approximately 800 kilos of load upon launch, depending on how much lunch the driver's had. The wheelie bar is 1.5 metres in length from the rear diff. Believe it or not, it takes 5 metres of chrome moly tubing to construct these wheelie bars. On average, depending which team, The ride height of these wheelie bars will be 4 inches from the ground to the centre bolt. The wheelie bar height is checked after the burnout due to the fact that the heat in the tyres can expand and adjust that ride height. You want to make sure that the wheelie bar is set at the right height for the perfect launch for that perfect pass. Hi, my name's Brandon Gosbell, and this weekend I'm at Meremere Dragway to race King Kong in the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Car Series. Drag racing for me started when I was 8 years old in a junior dragster. I raced them for 8 years before I switched to 2 wheels. And I rode motorcycles for the last 6 years until one day I got the call to drive a wheel stander. Drove a wheel stander for a short period of time before getting the call up to drive a Nitro Funny Car. I've always wanted to race something with Nitro, so to get to experience that and get that opportunity is one of a kind and truly unique, so you've just got to jump at the opportunity. The car, the speed, the noise, the aggression is just on another level. You cannot compare a Nitro Funny Car to anything else. I think a lot of it is feel. Until you get that feel, you don't quite know. You've just got to hop in, give it a go, and it either works or it doesn't. Nitro Funny Cars to me was just a dream. So to get a phone call was just completely bizarre and left of field, and I'm still in disbelief that I'm sitting here right now. It accelerates and makes noise that you've just never heard before. It was just a completely mind-blowing experience. I'm still pinching myself I even get to sit here and get an opportunity to drive one of these cars. To go out there and even contest for a win, that's just something special.
What a cool venue this is, just down the road from the Hampton Downs Circuit as well. We are south of Auckland and we're heading into round number 2. Remember, it's not elimination style racing. It's all about gathering those points. You want to be on 6 points at the end of this round to have a chance at winning the prize at the end of the night.
And the best part about the whole concept, Chad, is the fans see every car, every pass. And I think that's the difference. When you can roll into a drag strip and sometimes you see your favourite car get knocked out in the first round, you kind of go, what the? Gosbell, he said he's battling with tyre shake issues. It's a whole lot less complex in a funny car than I in a Hayabusa. When you get tyre shake on your motorbike, you're probably going to hospital. Gorsey, on screen already, in good form, has a solo pass to his credit, went over 400 k's an hour in his first run, and now he comes up against the new kid on the block.
Yeah, Gosbell's got the short straw here, and this is going to be a tough matchup. What a huge operation this has been to get all these cars over here. You don't see too many internationally travelling drag racing shows. You know what one of the toughest things about getting these cars into customs was? Getting 4,000 litres of nitro across the border. You reckon that would have raised a few eyebrows?
I would have thought all the customs officials standing back going, man, those things are cool. Can I have a look at them longer? Great shot from the air, and now GC calls in the Chev. Has a look in the window. You good to go, boy? Just sets the idle. Are you good? Yep, I'm good. Gosbell facing off against Gorsey. Good luck. Enjoy that.
Yeah, King Kong versus Nitro Express, more like David versus Goliath, this one. Oh, here we go. Who can get that loud pedal down the quickest? Nitro Express is vulnerable. Oh, for a moment I thought maybe King Kong was coming back. I've said it time and time again, sometimes side-by-side 8s are even better than side-by-side 5s.
If you're going to tug on the cape of Superman, you better have some kryptonite in your pocket. And I think that's what Gosbell, for a split second, thought, I can have him. I can have him.
It was so close. He had him almost at half track and just ran out of puff at the finish line. It was so close. And somehow Nitro Express gets away with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've lost count. How many times did he smash that throttle pedal?
That has never, that I've seen, happened to Nitro Express or Rick Gorsey. Massinio rolls back out in the dark horse. He has to avenge that round 1 disappointment where McMillan tied him to the post. And Lay, thank you. Nice fat burnout in Bandit.
I feel like we need judges' scorecards in here for the burnouts. That was a perfect 10 from me. I love that. Modern drag racing, burnouts are too short. Not in this series, man. We go half track if we can.
Cool part about Lay, he's a 3rd generation racer, and of course he used to race against Gosbell back in the junior dragster days. They actually went to school together, so they've had a long time friendship. as much as you can when you're only 26 years of age, of course. An accountant from the ACT.
Had a pretty good 2019, Josh Labe. Put that thing on the podium on 2 different occasions. But went winless throughout the year. Finished off 2018 and came into last year looking like he might be the guy. Can he get some of that form back in 2020?
Calling him into stage. Great crowd here at Meremere in New Zealand. An historic weekend for this series. Setting that track bar, that wheelie bar that Josh explained. I love that. Just some respect there from both the crew chiefs. And then the little blow of the kiss. I bet GC doesn't do that to Rick Gorsey.
It's tight. It's close at half track.
That's a good drag race, New Zealand. And Messinio. Wow, he's rough on the anchors. A 585 with a 1. There's your winner.
Well, that was cool. That was some proper rodeo stuff from the deep end on the dark horse. Oh, that's a cool shot. Lay just got out of the groove for a tiny, tiny moment. And that was enough for dark horse to run away. The horse had bolted, I guess you could say.
I love that sound.
Hit top gear, fly through the finish. 400 clicks, and here comes the bounce. That's the rear brake doing its job. Oh. Bit of a plume of clutch dust. The car had a walk to the left.
Messinio needed that.
Cylinder, though. Yeah.
He really needed that because that first performance, look at that.
Was that all 4 wheels off the ground then? That was rad. We are motoring along nicely, halfway home. Round number 2 and the hometown hero, One Bad Kiwi, still to come here. This is Meremere, and this is the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Car Show. Spectacular place to go racing. We love Auckland. Doesn't matter which part of New Zealand you go to, North Island, South Island, it's all cool, it's all beautiful, and it's this man's home.
I was just going to say, New Zealand, beautiful one day, Nitro the next. Love it. Huge crowd here at Meremere. Yeah, buddy. Was that an attempt at a haka then? He had the tongue out, Morris McMillan.
All Kiwi showdown, this one. This is a bit of a grudge match. Carl Boniface, unfortunately, looks like that car's taking a bit of a ride in the burnout. Ooh. Man, the RPM got high then.
I'm not sure about the mile per hour, but the style per hour that he brings to the table just does it for me. Just looks mint, doesn't he, sitting there like that? But there appears to be an issue.
So, unfortunately, from the highs of winning round number 1 to the lows of getting pushed back in round number 2. The good news is, for this guy, Morris McMillan, he's going through on maximum points.
Cool part is that's his wife there, Monique, who's also setting the idle before the pass as well. I love that about this sport, that you can get that situation. An 097 light. The Kiwi's in the house. You don't think he's loving being at home.
Oh, 561, and he needed a strong ET because the final round of racing relies on going fast in round number 2, and that was an all-time pass. That left-hand lane is lit up, and that was quick.
Just a very clear message to anyone back in the pits. You're in my sandpit. You better bring your A-game today. McMillan is stout here at Meremere.
Beautiful launch, just lifted those front wheels slightly. Didn't look to put out a cylinder out of those pipes the whole way down. Whiz by at 400 clicks. Early shoot too, so it's got a little left in the tank.
Yeah, the crowd are loving that. Here is Emma Begley.
These round 2 matchups are awesome, and this is probably the one that, dare I say, everyone's looking forward to in the paddock. And the reason being, this for the first time over in New Zealand is going to be daddy versus daughter.
I love it. LA Hooker up against Let's Begley. What a run. Historic, as you said. Can she take the old man out? Have a look at that. How can you take that guy seriously? A 21-year-old student nurse is his daughter from Queensland, and she came out of junior drag to like so many of these people have progressed from. And this is the burnout. Now, she got some serious attitude in the burnout.
Here we go, watch the handwork. That is just about full lock. Managed to gather that thing back up, couple of blinks to get the nitro and smoke out of the eyes, but she's all right. She's got this thing backed up and ready to take on Dad. Dad's got himself a new tuner this week as well. Mitchell King, who works in the workshop for Graham Cowan, is now on the spanners for this car. So let's see if he's got it in him. There he is to get this car to the finish line today ahead of Papa's daughter.
A 48-year-old company director from WA. His first car was a Volvo. That makes no sense to me. What can he do with his little girl? Is she going to take the old man out in New Zealand?
Whoa! What was he doing? He's still on WA time at the start line, and he gets absolutely mugged by his daughter. 584 in an all-time whole shot win. I have no idea what just happened to Anthony Begley and LA Hooker.
I think he was still driving the Volvo, Chad. Just got smoked by his little girl.
The lights are green, go! He's on his phone or something.
Anyone that says it's a distraction to compete against your children in motorsport clearly needs to watch that.
0.4 at the lights. That would have been great back in the old days when it was a 0.4 was the minimum. But, wow, that is an all-time whole shot loss.
What a result for Emma, and a great result for the series as well. The fans have lit up here.
Wow, that was a
Goes
good
for the
pass.
shoots,
Ooh.
grabs the anchors.
Yeah, needed a couple attempts of just getting her hand on that handbrake style brake. Operates the rear brakes, no problem at the other end. Got that thing pulled up, nice pass.
Good job. Nothing about them is user-friendly from an outsider. Look at that grin. Yeah! Good job, Beggs.
And after 2 rounds of racing, it makes the scenario pretty clear. Only 2 drivers go through to the final round on the maximum 6 points, so they are racing for first and second at the end of the day, and plenty of drivers fighting for that last stop on the podium.
Oh, honestly, this feels like such a long time coming. And for our own family, this is a little bit of history in the making. Honestly, my eyes did not come off that light. I was ready to go, I think, back before we even started the car. My eyes were on that light and at that end of the track. So I was ready to go.
I am pretty proud to see her do this well. You know, the car, she had a couple of little dramas with the car in the first pass, but, you know, to get in something that does 400 k's an hour, it's not the easiest thing just to get in it and put your foot flat to the floor. So, no, she does well. Like all the drivers here, the young drivers here, you know, a couple of us old guys are going to have to start picking our act up, I think.
Yeah, that was a good one. So we had a little go at it and it worked. So yeah, real happy with that. Real happy with that one. You don't expect the Nitro Express to pedal it a few times and then still face the final, and you still got to race the toughest car here. So we've had a couple of good battles in recent time, me and Rick. So want to get this one for the home fans.
Just trying to get it to hook up was the hardest thing. It just wouldn't hook up. I was trying to roll on the throttle, it wouldn't do it for me. So I ended up trying to do something different. I actually punched it in the top gear before I rolled back on, and it actually worked for me, thank God. I think the track's been good, but the left lane's obviously been the pig. I don't know if it's in our heads or not, but we'll find out this round, because I'm guaranteeing I'm going to be in the right.
Cannot wait for this final round, McMillan versus Dorsey. And it's all part of the entertainment, as always, with the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Car Show. Nitro Sheriff with Chelsea Lay at the wheel, steering the wheel stander, wowing the crowd. And that is how you do it. Quarter mile on the back wheels. We love this action.
Every part of an Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny car is special in one way or another. Nothing more so than the rear tyres. 87 centimetres high, 43 centimetres wide, and you'll notice here it's a slick. There's no grooves in the tyre. The more rubber we can put on the ground equals the more traction we can apply to the racetrack. Your average road car, you run between 30 to 35 pounds of pressure. In a drag slick, we'll run between 6 and 9. Every single run, we'll adjust this tyre pressure by the smallest of margins to get the optimum traction for the conditions. A little bit more air will mean more traction, a little bit less air for less traction. Each set of these slicks is worth $2,000. Now they'll last between 20 and 30 runs, which may sound like a lot, but in distance, that's only 12 kilometres. An Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny car might make 4,000 horsepower, but unless you can get these tyres to stick to the racetrack, it all goes up in smoke.
What a cool venue for these retro, old-school style cars. Over 4 decades of racing for this permanent facility outside of Auckland, owned and operated by the local Hot Rod Club. I love everything about that, and it is the perfect venue for these beautiful nitro burning beasts. And here we go with our new final round format for the first time we've ever seen it.
Now, this is Boniface up against Beggs. Yeah, exactly right, Jad. These guys basically won't go any further forward in the points than they are right now. This is a one-off battle for their final position today. Man, he is just shoehorned inside that thing, isn't he?
I love it. Got that thing properly sideways. That's a big burnout. LA Hooker going downtown on that one. Here he is, he's back.
It's like an ad for a Lynx commercial, isn't it? The way he's kissing his arms. You know what's cool about this sport as well, Chad? It's all the families. Like you looked at Chelsea Lay before. You've got Greg Lay in there as well. You've got Josh Lay, the Beggs Lees. It's just incredible how many families are just interwoven into the fabric of Nitro Funny Car racing through this series.
Yep, families that race together, huh? Old saying. And just making those final adjustments on the wheelie bars. Make sure that ride height is perfect at the back. So racing for positions from here on. Taking a little bit of adjustment to get that right. It's been really cool seeing this car here today as they make their final adjustments on the injector hat, the top of the blower.
What a moment for Carl. Final run today for him in front of a huge home crowd. Nothing in it at the lights, but Beggs is gone.
Yeah, that's out of here. That's a huge pass. Saved up everything that he lost in that second round and goes 574.
409 Ks. That's like around Gorsey territory. And Emma saying, whew, thanks for that, Dad. You got that one off just a little too late for me.
Absolutely. That car just danced on that wheelie bar. That shows you why they spend so much time getting that right. Here's the cool shot looking back at Carl. Welcome to the series. It's been great to have him all the way up from Invercargill. He's come up through the ranks doing all sorts of racing in New Zealand, bouncing his way to the stop area.
Yeah, Beggs looks pretty happy.
Something's better than nothing, and hopefully I'll redeem myself a little bit. This is such a great track. It's up there as good as anything we've got in Australia. So, and hats off to the New Zealanders, and the show they put on has been really good.
Winners are grinners, no doubt about that. Let's get on board the Bandits. Josh Lay, big, strong, healthy burnout up against Brandon Gosbell. The new kid in town, 24 years of age, a landscaper by trade, up against an accountant. And they've been lifelong buddies, these two. That's about to go out the window, Chad.
Looking forward to this one, actually. This is going to be a really cool matchup. We have noticed that left lane's definitely been the lane of choice, you could say. So most of the drivers who have lane choice are going to go for that lane. But we have seen some side-by-side fives already today, so it's not impossible.
And when we say left lane too, we're talking about the direction that the drivers face. When you look at it like that, it looks like Gosbell has the left lane, but we're on board with Gosbell over to his left. Now watch for the kiss. Just watch this. She sets the idle, makes sure that the rival is in position as well. You okay? Yep, you okay? And love you, baby. Who loves you, baby?
Little good luck charm. Down comes the visor. Ride that brake. Off with the clutch. And hold on.
Good night.
Yep.
Good night. Little close to the wall, but still squeezed out a 400 km/h pass. A 564 with 5. And Josh gets it done in his last run here in New Zealand.
I reckon that might have been on 7 cylinders as well, which might have been why it went over towards the wall. But first, that car just going nowhere, just trying to get a handle on that setup for King Kong. And there was the little walk over to the left-hand side for the Bandit.
Look at the speed difference.
Oh,
he's having a pedal.
Yeah, unfortunately, once the tyre's gone, you got to wait so long or even use the brake. So being so new, these are the things that he'll learn.
Just what an experience even being here. It's a dream come true. And to race against mates that I've grown up with is just something pretty special.
Yeah, look, to be here racing in New Zealand, you know, lifelong buddies. We went to school together, believe it or not. Raced junior drags together. My dad drove me all the way down to Sydney and he beat me first round when I was like 10. It was just, yeah. And now we're here, so unbelievable. 10 years later, who would have thought we'd be here now? So incredible.
There's plenty more coming up in round 3 here at Meremere. Do not go anywhere. It's starting to get wild here in the Kiwi land.
Eight cars have come across from Australia, plus 2 trucks as well as the wheel stander. It's been a huge operation to bring the show to New Zealand, as well as some of the famous names in this series like the Dark Horse and cars that have a reputation. And it's been an amazing first event over here. After a couple of rained attempts, here we go.
And this is the battle for third, between third and fourth in points. And how about that for Emma Begley, racing off for a podium finish? This is incredible. This is the bloke that's going to be the bad guy. And take Let's Boogie out of the equation. Messinio up against Emma Beggs.
It's always Messinio versus Begley. It doesn't matter which one it is. It's such a family rivalry, that one. And this is a golden opportunity for Emma Begley to get her first podium. She's in the hot seat right now. She's got the left lane.
And there's no romantic nature at all about Messinio. It's like, yeah, I'm glad you're here. On your bike.
Yep.
I'm going to take you out now.
Now I finish you. Let's see if he can do it from the right-hand lane, though. He quite literally is the dark horse in that lane. Can they get the tune-up right on this car? Or will it be a first-time podium, first-time trophy for Emma Begley?
She will bring the house down if she can get the job done here. Look at those eyes. I'm good to go. Let's put her in.
16 drivers have scored podiums in this series, but never a woman. Is this the moment? Scar got the start line advantage.
Ooh.
Close at half track. Oh, I think Messinio gets it. He does. What a race. What a drag race. So close, Wade. So close to that first podium finish. Denied.
3/1000ths of a second in it. She nearly did it. Messinio in the end does the job, but that was a great drag race. The fans are up and about on that one.
That is why this series rocks like it does. And watch how close Messinio got to the centre line. That's a disqualification if you touch it, and that's how close it was at the finish line.
Have a look at the stormy skies in the background too, Chad. It's not been an easy day, has it?
No.
Look at the boys.
Kicking that thing home like a racehorse, and then the disappointment when you see the wind light go to the other lane. How cool is this? Great drive job from Messinio. Half a car length at the stripe.
Oh, mate, I'm puffed out. Unbelievable. What a race. I knew Emma was going to be tough, you know what I mean? We have our little friendly banter, but, you know, we all love each other sort of thing. That was a good race. The car left hard. It was just pulling strong all the way through to the quarter mile. So, wow, I'm just so happy. You know, my guys, they've been working so hard. Got to thank GC, Wendy, Aeroflow, Rocket, just everyone that's involved just to make this series. Like, coming to New Zealand's a tough gig. Logistics, wow. Aeroflow, way to go.
He's like a BAD A55 Bert Newton, really. Get the little plug in there as well. This is it. Who's going to win this deal? Won't this be the perfect fairy tale finish for New Zealand if McMillan can do the job on Rick?
And again, golden opportunity in that left-hand lane. They love this sport. They love motorsport in New Zealand, but they really love their drag racing. They're just a little bit starved of it. TV ratings have been huge over there for this series, and this would just be the icing. But he is the strongest in this competition, Rick Gorsey, and he will take some beating for one bad Kiwi. And similarly to what we're just saying about Emma Begley, there's a little bit of a fairy tale here as well. Never to take that first win.
And it's appropriate that Gorsey's in all black, because he kind of rides into town as that fearsome bad guy of the situation.
Absolutely he does. So for one bad Kiwi, a couple podiums in 2019, but not quite the strong year that Rick Gorsey had. He's on a hat-trick of podiums right now. Is this the moment, though, that Trans Am can step up and take the first ever win for one bad Kiwi?
Mrs. Mack, last-minute adjustments to Morris's car. Looking over to make sure that's the difference too. They actually check what their rival's doing in the other lane. You good? Yeah, you good? Now I'm going to race you to the wall, but I'm at least going to make sure we start there together.
It's all very gentlemanly at the beginning. Here we go.
Oh, it's over! It is over in New Zealand, McMillan! That is the dream result and a 419k pass.
That was a hell of a way to do it. Stuck on the start line. Nitro Express going nowhere. And finally, some revenge for the underarm ball as One Bad Kiwi takes the win on home soil and puts one down for the Kiwi fans.
I can't believe you brought up Trevor Chappell at a pivotal moment for New Zealand sport like that.
Here it is from the Rocket Crew cam, and this should be a wicked celebration. Full stage, the weight, the celebration, the realisation they've got the win.
That's a great moment for this team and for the series. That's what it's all about, a golden rocket.
I don't know what to say. It's to race at home, to beat the Black Chev like Graham Cowan and Rick Gauzy are just the ultimate in this sport. And we got a bit lucky in the second one, but the car still went good. And my team are awesome. The fairy tales don't really happen, but today it did. And there's so many cogs to this machine that we call the Aeroflow Nitro Funny cars, and every single driver, crew member, organiser, fan, racetrack official, everyone plays a part. And hey, we battled for 3 years to come back here and finally get to put on a show, and to cap that off, I don't even know what to say.
Clearly an emotional win on home soil for Morris McMillan, and what a great family moment this is.
Yeah, little Lockie there with wife Monique, and a fantastic result. What a great drag event, considering we got rained out the day before. And listen to this crowd, they love it. To the winners go the spoils, but to us, man, we get to call some great drag racing.
This has been the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Car Show. It's been a pleasure bringing it to the Kiwi fans, and didn't they just love seeing the hometown hero take the win? Meremere, what a cool venue. Check the Facebook page. You need to see this show. You need to feel it, smell it, and enjoy it in its flesh to really appreciate just how cool Nitro is.